big community party. Kind of a nice low-key event, chance for people to get together and hang out.
Everything out of the trailer comes hot and fresh. Best way to eat them, and it's all made with love.
So I decided if I can't be the fastest, I'll be the strongest. Things happen that aren't in your control, and the only thing you can do is how you can react to it.
Don't eat plastic.
It was like going back in a time machine.
You don't have to stand in line for 15 minutes and take off your coat and shoes. Anybody can get on. It's not an airliner. It's an experience.
From 3 News Now and the Omaha World-Herald, this is Omaha Sunday Morning with Jennifer Griswold.
Good morning and thanks for joining us this Sunday. I'm Jennifer Griswold. A record number of people hit the roads this 4th of July holiday, many still making their way home this weekend. Across the river in Iowa, a new traffic law aimed at keeping people safe on the side of the road is in place. Drivers are now required to move over a lane for any vehicle that's stopped on the side of the road with flashing lights. 3 News Now reporter Megan Hahn rode along with the Iowa State Patrol to see how troopers are enforcing the new law.
He was going 20 over. Oh. Yeah, it's 55 through here.
Behind the wheel for more than a decade, State Trooper Jared Kastner has conducted countless traffic stops to keep Iowa roadways safe.
Iowa State Patrol, the reason for the stop, you're a little bit fast on your speed. I don't know if you realize that or not.
But it's not just speeding that Kastner is keeping an eye out for. It's also drivers who fail to yield for vehicles stopped on the shoulder.
You can write that citation several times a shift if allowed.
Under the stricter law, drivers must now move over lanes for all vehicles with flashing lights stopped on the side of the road. As car after car zoom by, most move, but not all do.
I would just ask people to put themselves in our shoes when we're on the side of the road, how they would want people to react if they were standing on the shoulder. I've never been struck, but I've had some very close calls, and if you talk to anyone that has any time on the road, everybody has a story.
Encounters like this one involving an Iowa State Trooper in 2014. Or as recently as June 24th when this trooper was rear-ended while stopped. It's examples like these which are behind the push for 100% compliance with the law.
You know, everyone thinks being in law enforcement, you know, your biggest concern is maybe being assaulted or shot. Our biggest concern really is that the motoring public driving by and striking us while we're on the side of the road. I mean, it's truly my biggest fear.
Violating the move over law is not cheap. After court fees, the ticket will end up costing you $195. Residents who live in the Omaha area should not be alarmed if they see a low-flying helicopter. Starting this week, helicopters with instruments mounted on them will fly around and collect data about the geologic measurements of our state. In doing this, the Papio NRD is hoping to learn more about aquifers.
Down the road, if we need extra drinking water sources and or even where farmers can put an irrigation well, we need to know, I mean, is this going to be a good place to put the well, or is it not going to be a good place to put the well? And these flights will help us do some more mapping of the programs.
AquaGeo Frameworks of Mitchell, Nebraska will oversee the flights, process the data, and produce a final report. A plane from the past took to the skies over Omaha, giving passengers a chance to climb aboard and settle in for a trip back in time to aviation's golden age, an era when air travel was considered a luxury. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Brendan Sullivan buckled up for the ride.
This airplane was built before 99% of the people alive today were on this planet. And so it's not bringing them back, it's taking them back. From a standpoint of transportation, it's very slow. I mean, it only goes 90 to 100 miles an hour versus 500 miles an hour in a jet airliner. Your car can probably go faster than this Ford can go.
Every little thing, you know, you can hear that maybe a sighted person wouldn't key in on. and understand it. You know, you just hear different things.
Absolutely, and it smells different. The history, you can smell the wood.
Yeah.
You can smell, it doesn't smell like new plastic.
It was like going back in a time machine.
You can smell the oil.
The aircraft is a 1928 Ford AT-5 airliner. Most people don't know that, but Ford Motor Company, the people that build the cars, built airplanes in the 1920s and 1930s. And this is one of their earlier examples. The airplane holds 11 passengers and flies typically at about 90 miles an hour. So it's not very fast. There's no TSA and no luggage to deal with. We promise we won't lose your luggage, because you're not going to have any. But also you don't have to deal with TSA. You don't have to stand in line for 15 minutes and take off your coat and shoes. Anybody can get on. It's not an airliner. It's an experience.
How cool. The plane is one of 3 tri-motors still flying. It was brought to Omaha by the Experimental Aircraft Association. A dip in the pool is a wonderful way to cool off on these hot summer days, and it's fun for the entire family. Whether you spend time in the water every weekend or just a couple times a year, we talk to the experts about a few key reminders to keep your kids safe, what they should do if they start to feel tired when Omaha Sunday Morning continues. As temperatures rise, so do the number of people jumping into the pool, but a recent drowning in Sarpy County and a scary emergency this week at an apartment complex pool in Omaha are reminders about keeping a close eye on children around the water. 3 News Now reporter Alexa Ray talked to lifeguards about the best things you can do to protect your kids and have fun this summer.
When it's hot outside, taking a cool dip in the pool may seem ideal, but keeping your kids safe in the water is a top priority. On an average day at the Oak Hills Country Club, the pool is full of kids swimming. But an enjoyable day at the pool can turn serious if an accident were to happen. At Oak Hills, they say that preventing a save from having to occur is key.
It's really just watching and just paying attention to what is going on in the pool.
At the Country Club, they always have at least one lifeguard on duty.
As the numbers of children and patrons increase, we increase the number of lifeguards that go in the chair. And then there are usually lifeguards either sitting out front of the office or walking around the deck and watching the deck and the pool as well.
And they are trained to know what to look for.
You notice who is in the pool, kind of you look at their ages and you get an idea of who is a confident swimmer, who's a less confident swimmer.
But at other pools around town, there may not always be a lifeguard to watch out for less confident swimmers. Officials say that's when it's important to make sure that children know the basic safety skills of swimming.
If you're tired, to roll over and do a backflow, or what happens if you were to fall into the pool, you turn around and grab the wall. I think explaining those things to your children are important. That way, if they ever found themselves in a situation, that they would know what to do.
Officials also say that they notice accidents are more likely to occur when children get tired.
A lot of kids will just want to go, 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 and never want to take a break. So I think that that's really the only thing that we ever notice is that when swimmers start to tire, they obviously don't swim as well.
While taking breaks is key, safety in the water is all about being aware.
Be aware of your surroundings. Look for the other kids in the pool. Make sure you're watching.
Officials also say it's just as important to make sure kids are safe when they're outside the pool. They say kids should always walk, not run, to avoid accidentally falling into the water. The extreme heat can take a toll on the elderly. As we age, our ability to properly respond to summer heat can become a serious problem. Older people are at an increased risk of heat-related illnesses known as hyperthermia during summer months. It can cause heat stroke, heat edema, and heat exhaustion. If you suspect someone is suffering from a heat-related illness, get the person out of the heat and into a cool place right away. Urge them to lie down and drink water. Over the last week, we've been looking closely at some of our area healthcare providers. This morning, we're highlighting a community clinic that connects patients to resources not typically seen. The lens falls on the Creighton University Medical Center, University campus. 3 News Now reporter Shantae Passmore shows us how it's helping patients in and out of the doctor's office.
This isn't a typical doctor's visit here.
I would say
this is my opinion, and we can certainly move forward how you want.
Because what Leticia Vieira is about to prescribe falls outside the spectrum of medications, screenings, and medical opinions. It's coping with day-to-day life barriers,
such as transportation, food pantries, medical insurance, amongst other things.
There we go.
54-year-old Daryl Hill is bouncing back thanks to a program called Community Link after life knocked him down, he says.
I was losing my house from when I got laid off from a job and went through a series of depression, trying to find a new career, went back to school and things like that. And things just weren't working out for me.
The inability to refinance his house led to leaner times in the kitchen and tougher times to healthcare access. But Vieira, like other advocates, connected Hill to the resources he needed to keep him afloat, like transportation.
When asked, how does offering services similar to what a social worker does fit into the scope of health and wellness, the medical center here pointed me to a commitment it made to this community last summer.
This has been a promise that we made to the community that we are now delivering on.
It's a promise to provide top-notch care in health and sometimes battle life's problems alongside patients.
We've elected to do that is that we understand that doctors only really play a percentage in the role of physical health care.
The rest, Vieira says, is showing patients how to advocate for themselves, improving overall their own health and well-being.
Yes.
You do? Okay.
I'd have to
think about it.
A good update, Hill is now an electrician and is not stopping by the clinic as much. Stormy weather ahead that hit us in late June, carried over into early June, but we're about to go through another shift in our weather pattern. The week ahead looks much drier with little to no chances for rain. As a ridge of high pressure builds over the region, that means temperatures will rise to way above average the next several days, with highs in the low to mid 90s. A cheeseburger and fries, a classic American meal. And this one looks thick and delicious, but truth be told, it's vegan. The Omaha Dines crew checked out the best veggie burgers in the city, where they found this tasty patty and what goes into making it taste like the real thing. Summertime and a good burger seem to go hand in hand. But what about swapping out the beef patty for a veggie burger? The Omaha Dines crew from the Omaha World-Herald went in search of the best veggie burger in the city. Of the near dozen sandwiches they tried, one stood out above the rest. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Megan McGill takes us to the nationally known vegan restaurant that takes pride in its veggie creation.
I think our veggie burger is unique because it takes on traditional burger texture and the way it looks, and so the texture of it is like kind of what they would say realistic, but the flavors are so savory and warm, and you know, somebody comes in here and is looking for like an authentic burger, something that you're used to growing up, you're gonna find it in this burger. Not only in the flavor, but the way it looks. It's just like perfect all-American burger. There's certain ways to create a veggie burger, but I think this is like kind of just like broken the barrier of how veggie burgers are seen. It's got that like warmness and then that crispness from the fresh lettuce and house-made pickles and fresh onions, and we do our smoked tomatoes on there. Another big ingredient that we use a lot is cashews. Cashews are super creamy, and it's our cashew-based roasted red pepper cheese sauce. And so we roast our own peppers in-house and then make this delicious miso-based, chickpea miso-based cheese sauce that is just like melty and delicious, and kind of smoky and lovely. We just try to use the best ingredients and make sure that every dish is perfect for every single person that walks in here. And we also like really want everything to be beautiful as well. So, you know, when you come in here, you're gonna expect you expect that burger to be exactly the same as the time before, and it's gonna be just as beautiful as the time before.
It looks delicious. For more on this burger and others the Omaha Dines crew checked out, go to omaha.com and take a look at the Omaha Dines page. An iconic Omaha breakfast spot is serving up its signature dishes from a new location this weekend. The diner near 12th and Harney said goodbye to its corner after 35 years last weekend. 3 News Now photojournalist Vandra Caldwell caught up with regulars who packed the diner one last time.
You're tearing down memories, you're tearing down a lot of special moments for a lot of families.
It's more than just a vintage diner. Between these walls are decades full of great food, memories, and most importantly, love.
Ken actually proposed to me in the diner, so this is something that is hard for both of us.
Ken Schroeder and Rick Daly took over the diner nearly 6 years ago.
Property has been sold and it's being torn down.
Sunday, the partners saying their emotional goodbyes.
You know, everybody's sad because this is icon for Omaha. This isn't just our place of business. This has become a little landmark for the old market.
For the Schrammick family, the diner has fed each of their generations since it opened in 1983. What they'll miss the most? Its authenticity.
Things like the pictures on the wall and the jukebox in the corner and all this stuff we've, you know, just coming down, just the family and enjoying breakfast on Saturday or Sunday morning.
Like, yeah, we're gonna have the food, we're gonna have the people, you know, the atmosphere, but like, the building's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be like the original diner.
The address isn't the only thing changing.
We've kind of always wanted to take on new menu ideas, so this gives us breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a late night pub menu to play with. That's gonna be fun.
Now, once these doors close for good, Daly and Schroeder will proudly walk away.
Knowing that we had a part in such a significant place, that's a real honor. Buckle up and go for the ride.
There to tag along are their usuals like Ray Sutton, who visits every Sunday.
I showed up for the last meal at this location, and next Sunday I'll be down for the first meal at the new location.
The diner is still serving up its favorites at Billy Frog's near 12th and Howard. They'll take over the food service for the diner at Billy Frog's. From smoking barbecue to sizzling Cajun food, plus deep fried fair food and refreshing smoothies, a festival for your taste buds took over Bellevue this summer. We take you to Foodstock 2, the sights, sounds, smells, and tastes that made this community party a hit. There's a lot to like, as always, about today's lineup of CBS Sunday Morning. I'm joined now by Lee Cowan, who is giving us a preview of what to expect. And Lee, you spoke to the amazingly real, funny, larger-than-life comedian Louis Anderson. He currently plays a mom on TV.
He plays a mom on the epic series Baskets. He plays a woman named Christine Baskets. It's got a small following, the show. It was created by Zach Galifianakis, but it's so worth watching. It's in its 3rd season, just finished its 3rd season, going on its 4th. And you really forget that Louis Anderson is playing this mom character. You forget it's a guy. It's not just somebody in drag. There's something else to it. He says he really tries to, or he has been channeling his late mom. He's written a whole book based on this experience, playing this woman, channeling his mom, and he's now written these letters to his mom. And it's a pretty wide departure from his stand-up comedy that he's been doing for some 30 or 40 years that maybe an older generation knows him from. He makes all sorts of fun about growing up in the Midwest. He makes fun of his family. Some of it's some tough comedy about his alcoholic father. And he still makes a lot of fun about his weight. Take a look.
You know, I have a new joke I just love. I go, I just had my ancestry done. I'm 20% Norwegian and 80% butter. From the Land O'Lakes tribe. You know, those are such good jokes.
Just when you think he's done, he hits you with yet another one. And that's always been his comic genius. He's very family friendly in all of his shows. He doesn't swear. He's not that kind of comedian. He always just, really, it's very self-deprecating humor that he does. And he does that to a certain extent on the FX show Baskets as well. So you get a little bit of everything with Louis Anderson in this interview. So hope you tune in.
Yeah, I was reading a little excerpt from that Hey Mom, and he really does have that knack for delving into the real issues while still taking on the humor. You mentioned it, he talks about his alcoholic father as well.
Yeah, and he told me something that really stuck with me. He said one thing that his mom told him was always be nice to everybody because you never know what kind of day they've had. And for some reason, I really took that to heart. You sort of forget as we go about our daily life, if somebody cuts you off in traffic or if somebody's rude to you in an elevator, your temptation is to be rude back, but especially in these times where civility perhaps is a little bit up in the air, it's nice to remember that somebody else might be having a bad day too. So that kind of motherly kind of advice through Louis Anderson is something worth listening to, I think.
Definitely a lovable guy. Thanks so much, Lee. And thank you. We will look forward to those stories and much more at 8 o'clock on CBS Sunday Morning, right after this show. As food trucks grow in popularity across Nebraska, custom events to highlight the industry are increasing as well. Bellevue has now played host to Food Stock a couple times and hopes to have more. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Rebecca Gratz takes us to the latest Food Stock for a taste of what the popular event is serving up.
S'mores? You bet. 6 up. Yep. Anything to drink?
This is Food Stock 2, and it's just a big gathering of food trucks in Bellevue. We have 21 food trucks this year. You can see a few of them behind me. And then it's really just a big community party. Kind of a nice low-key event, chance for people to get together and hang out. Well, there's something for everybody. So it's the largest gathering of food trucks ever in Bellevue. We were really surprised by the turnout last year. There were over 3,000 people that showed up. We think of it as a big community picnic, just another chance for people of Bellevue to get together, hang out, and having the food trucks there. Food seems to always be a good excuse to get together.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving.
We were here last year, and it was just a wonderful time. So we live not too far away, so our daughter and son-in-law, the wife and I came down here just to eat, dine out, and enjoy the crowd.
This is Big Daddy's Mini Donuts. We're based here out of Omaha. This is our 4th season, our first time out at the Food Stock Rally. Very excited about it. We specialize in mini donuts, all sorts of flavors from the classic cinnamon and sugar, all the way to maple bacon, iced Oreos, and this year we've added a couple new flavors like the Boston cream, we've got the cherry bomb, and the dead Elvis. Everything out of the trailer comes hot and fresh, best way to eat them, and it's all made with love.
What a great event. More than 20 trucks participated, plus plenty of other local vendors and nonprofit groups. A nonprofit in Washington County is working to make a difference in the lives of young adults living with developmental disabilities. How they're taking their skills and putting them to use outside and in the kitchen, cooking up some delicious treats and goodies for the area's farmers market.
Sunday morning, we'll catch up with actor Michael J. Fox and share a few laughs with comedian Louis Anderson. Listen for the trumpet.
They're your neighbors, colleagues, even serve in the Army Reserve. Now they're known as U.S. citizens. More than 36 people took the oath of citizenship and celebrated their independence to mark the 4th of July. Senior reporter Jake Wazakowski on how they are proud to be an American.
That I will support and defend the Constitution and the laws.
Achieving freedom in the American way. 44 immigrants are recognized at a naturalization ceremony. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service Omaha office administered the oath of allegiance.
It is one of the most exciting things I've ever done in my life, if not the most exciting.
Tomasz Duszyński moved to the U.S. from Poland 35 years ago and says he understands the price of freedom and appreciates it more than most.
Back when I came to the United States, Poland was still a communist country. We had no freedom. We had no rights. We had no voice. You come here, you have freedom, you have rights, you have voice. You have protection of the government instead of being persecuted by the government.
The candidates were from 23 different countries, one already protecting his new freedoms with the Nebraska Army Reserves.
It feels great, it feels great to be like a new citizen, and I appreciate whatever the country has given to us.
Some celebrating with their families.
We're proud of them to be Americans, and I'm proud that you can say that now.
Yeah, I'm very proud to be American.
And setting an example for their children, who will grow up not having to know the struggle for freedom.
I think I will define it as an opportunity, a dream that I've been able to accomplish after all these years.
It's just one of those things like, hey, what kind of dream do you have? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And look at Dad, like he did it, you can too. It's fantastic.
The candidates have to be 18 years old and have been a permanent resident of the U.S. for at least 30 months. About 700,000 people every year become naturalized citizens in the U.S. Across the river, the city of Council Bluffs honored police officers, firefighters, and paramedics over the holiday. The city dedicated its public safety plaza at Pearl and Main with 4 bronze statues on the 4th. City leaders unveiled these designs during a special ceremony honoring those who put their lives on the line every single day. The statues represent local first responders. Ron and Suzanne Mahoney came up with the concept.
I was crying yesterday. I cried now. These people mean so much to us. We have so many friends that are either police officers or troopers or sheriffs and the firefighters that we just wanted to thank them.
Public workers took pictures standing next to the statues designed to look like them, serving as a reminder to respect the men and women who risk their lives to protect yours. While there are a handful of Omaha high school powerhouses, such as North football and Creighton Prep baseball, there's also one taking over powerlifting. Brownell Talbot has won several of the last Class C state titles, thanks in part to a senior who's excelled in the sport that wasn't even on his radar a few years ago. 3 News Now sports director Adam Kruger has his story.
When Michael Bartz began his high school athletic career, his sole focus was running. However, after tearing his quad, Brownell Talbot Sr. picked up a different sport, powerlifting.
I couldn't run for the next 6 months, and then once I got back to running, relearned how to run, was not even close to as fast as I was before, so I decided if I can't be the fastest, I'll be the strongest.
Bartz has now raised the bar, becoming one of the best in the country for his age and weight class, earning a #1 ranking in the 16 to 17-year-old division at 83 kilograms, or just under 183 pounds.
Just my parents reminding me that things happen that aren't in your control, and the only thing you can do is how you can react to it.
After coming in second at the National Championships in Orlando last August, Bartz competed in the World Championships in Calgary, Canada last month.
It was a good experience. This was my first international meet. I don't plan on it being my last.
Barton plans to compete on the Creighton powerlifting team in the future, but for now he's focused on bringing home another all-class state team title to Brownell Talbot in his final year with the Raiders.
Nothing has taught me applicable life skills quite like powerlifting has. I mean, there's days where maybe I'm tired and sleep that well the night before, but I know that when I go into the weight room, I have a job to do.
Talk about dedication. Best of luck to him. A nonprofit in Washington County is making a big difference for families in the community who have young adults with developmental disabilities. After seeing quick success, the program is now looking to expand. Morning anchor Emily Zink shows you the mission of Roots to Wings.
In Arlington, Nebraska.
Come on over, please.
Sits a plot of land donated by a local family.
We're at the Weaver's Garden.
This garden is now in full bloom.
These are our onions.
Yep, and tomatoes.
Thanks to some special helpers.
Ready, Nicole?
Yep, let's go.
All right, let's get going.
Anthony Marcucci and Nicole Engdahl are 2 of the 4 employees.
Yeah, it is hard work.
Otherwise known as farmers in the Roots to Wings program.
This one and couples here.
Makes me feel happy to make some money, get paid.
It's amazing to be able to keep them in our community working so they've got a job.
Arlington Public School special education teacher Jamie Smith says she and retired special ed teacher
straight down the middle here
Sheila Monkey noticed a growing number of students with developmental disabilities coming to the district. They wanted to start a work skill training program for the young adults who age out of school.
So this was the prompt to give them something and just to give them a purpose.
In 2015, the nonprofit was formed. 2017 was the garden's first year. Their produce is now a hit at the Arlington Farmers Market.
What makes you so happy?
Happy I like gardening so much.
But their skills go beyond just gardening.
What are you making today?
I'm
With the help of volunteers, the farmers bake and craft. Everything is for sale in their very own shop. After a year in business, they're already expanding.
We're still like, wow, this is so exciting. How are we going to do this?
Executive Director Linda Menking says at the beginning of August, their workshop in craft space is moving across the street. More room means more farmers can be hired on.
We're planting the seeds and the roots to give the kids, and as they become adults, the wings to fly, to be independent.
Such a wonderful program. If you want to volunteer or know someone who wants to farm, go to our website, 3newsnow.com, for more information. Quilters spend hours upon hours crafting works of art, the fabric pieced together to tell a story. Next on Omaha Sunday Morning, we take you to the Great Sarpy County Quilt Exhibit and hear about the process from the artists themselves. 63 quilts are currently on display in Bellevue. They are part of the Great Sarpy County Quilt Exhibit. Each one a work of art created by quilters in the community, with every stitch helping to tell a story. 3 News Now morning anchor James Johnson met some of the artists behind the quilts.
First quilt she ever made.
Walk through the Sarpy County Museum and you'll see all sorts of artifacts that share the rich history of Sarpy County. Among these pieces of history are quilts draped throughout the museum, made from members of the community for all to enjoy.
I like people to see what we can do with color and what we can do with fabrics.
Gwen Sinclair has been quilting since 1990 and has made well over 100 quilts. She has 4 of them in the exhibit this year, but her favorite, the one with the log cabin design.
This particular block, which is like this, is my favorite because it represents the home. Like the red represents the chimney, and the strips around represent all the blocks or the logs that you put into your house.
Lorraine Carter says she's addicted to quilting because her quilts have made a difference in people's lives. She belongs to a group called Quilts for Kids out of Lincoln, a nonprofit dedicated to brightening the lives of children who are in the hospital.
And, some of the kids are in there for months, like the kids at Children's, and so they have to be able to withstand hospital washings and high temperatures and that sort of thing. And it's just, that's more rewarding. It's a part of me. Every quilt I make has a part of me in it.
Patterns and quilts go hand in hand, some with special meaning, some telling stories, while others a form of expression. It's these ideas, Emily Larson says, help create these pieces of art.
I think quilters are artists. They design, if it's your quilt, it's yours to do with how you want to do it. Yeah. Not everybody maybe likes all of the quilts in here. They have favorites, but I like them all. I can pick something good out of every quilt.
A lot of talent. If you're interested in checking out the exhibit, it will be on display until August 18th. We have a link on our website, 3newsnow.com, with all the information. This week, the Creighton School of Dentistry saw its final patient at its current location. Their building has served dental school students and patients for the last 45 years. The dental school is moving to a new 200,000 square foot space near 21st and Cumming. Acute care and emergency dental services will remain at the old spot until August. A new era begins for the Omaha Public School District. A new superintendent is now at the helm. Dr. Cheryl Logan of Philadelphia has officially taken the reins from outgoing Superintendent Mark Evans. This week, Dr. Logan attended her first school board meeting as superintendent.
When I decided I wanted to become a superintendent, I wanted to be successful. And I did a lot of reading and studying about good entries and poor entries into the work. And what I learned was, however your entry goes is how your tenure is going to go.
Logan's contract runs through June of 2021. She has a salary of $300,000 a year plus benefits. She says her top priorities, keeping students safe and tackling the district's budget. Pets are a part of the family. We want the best for them, and now the Omaha Fire Department is better equipped to take care of them when a fire breaks out. Who provided them with Fido bags for their trucks? And what's inside to help dogs who are scared, cold, or might have breathed in too much smoke? On this Sunday, a look at what's happening this week in Omaha. On Tuesday, Omaha Science Cafe is tackling the topic of cold brew. The science of beer is on tap at the Slowdown. That starts at 7 p.m. Then on Friday night, grab your blanket and head to the Bob Carey Pedestrian Bridge for Bridge Beats. The free concert includes activities for the whole family, from food trucks to bounce houses, even face painting. It gets started at 6 p.m. For more information on these events and many more this week, take a look at the community calendar on omaha.com. Omaha firefighters will soon have a new piece of equipment to help them give medical attention to pets who are injured in house fires. They're called Fido bags, and each Omaha rig will have one on board. 3 News Now reporter Andrea Braswell shows us how these kits could help until emergency vet care becomes available.
A bright orange bag has now become an essential life-saving tool for the Omaha Fire Department.
We know that pets are part of everybody's family, as well as some of ours as well. So we just want to be able to be there to help as much as we can.
The Fetch Foundation is donating 24 Fido bags to the Omaha Fire Department
to help out first responders in terms of pets.
Helping rescue crews become more effective at saving the lives of our four-legged friends.
Until they can get to the hospital to get better care.
These bags will be very useful to OFD firefighters. Battalion Chief Scott Fitzpatrick says 50% of their rescue calls involve animals.
500,000 dogs and cats or pets across the U.S. are affected by fires each year in the U.S. And of those, about 40,000 of those will succumb to smoke inhalation.
Van Horen says the bags can be the difference between life or death.
Help with administering oxygen, which is one of the first things. Also in here, there's some general first aid things.
And the bag features items like an oxygen mask, a splint, a water bowl, and even a blanket.
This donation, this goes a little step further to help us restrain them, give oxygen, possibly splint a fractured leg, limb, anything like that.
With a mission to make these bags available across America.
Trying to get them to every fire department within the United States.
The Fido bag donation started in 2010. Firefighters will watch a training video on how to use all the tools in the bag before using them on a call. Now that the 4th of July is over, many pets across the Omaha area are resting easier. The Nebraska Humane Society says dogs often run away from home on the 4th because noise from the fireworks is scary. When searching for a pet, NHS said people should have some proof of ownership when they go to the shelter.
No matter what you're doing with your animal, it's always a good idea to have ID. And not just a microchip, but a tag, because if there's a tag on it, then anybody can read that.
Hey, sweetie.
The Nebraska Humane Society will keep lost pets until they can be reunited with their rightful owner. Nebraska Game and Parks has discovered a nuisance in Lake Cunningham, baby zebra mussels. Over the next several weeks, officials will be taking samples at boat ramps and the rocks. If testers discover adult zebra mussels, they will declare the lake infested. Boaters are urged to clean their boat after they get it out of the water. There is no effective treatment to get rid of zebra mussels. Back in the winter of 2010 and 2011, zebra mussels at Lake Surinsky forced the city to drain the entire lake to get rid of them, but the larvae was found again in 2016. Ever read Jeff Katurba's cartoon and thought, I could do that? Well, he's asking you to caption this, how you can get your creativity published in the paper when Omaha Sunday Morning continues. Every week, we sign off with Omaha World-Herald editorial cartoonist Jeff Katurba. This week is no different, but what is different, his cartoon. Why he wants you to take a look and send in a clever caption.
I'm Jeff Katurba. I am the editorial cartoonist for the Omaha World-Herald. I can't tell you how often people try to give me ideas for my cartoons. They call, they email, they write letters, they post on social media. You know, if I had a Bitcoin for every idea someone tried to give me, okay, make it $1. Anyway, as appreciative as I am of readers thinking of me, here's the thing. I don't take outside ideas. I mean, I often have more good ideas than you can shake a pen at. So you may ask, but I think I'm funny too. I mean, what am I supposed to do with my good ideas? That's where the great Katurba Caption Contest comes in. Each month I post a drawing without words, leaving it up to you, dear reader, to come up with the punchline. That's right, each month you can submit up to 3 captions of your very own. The winning entry will not only be published in the World-Herald, but I'll send you the original drawing, plus a signed copy of my book, Drawing You In. So, what are you waiting for? Go to the opinion section of omaha.com or take a look at one of the many promotional ads we run in the print edition of the World-Herald to check out this month's contest, which happens to be a drawing of this little chicken sitting at a big desk. Poor little lonely chicken. Won't you please give him a punchline? Enter soon, and good luck.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching Omaha Sunday Morning, and we'll see you back here next week.